Okay, thank you. Good evening, everyone. Let's continue. Learn from Master YongHua's teachings.
也就是这个恨、怨、恼、怒、烦。恨人呢，这就有个红人。
They are also hatred, resentment, annoyance, anger, and vexation. When you hate others, then there's a red-faced ghost.
冤人呢，就是黄人；恼人就有个白人。
When you resent others, there's a yellow-faced ghost. When you feel annoyed by others, there's a white-faced ghost.
怒人呢，就有个青人；有烦人呢，就有黑人。
When you are angry at others, there's a green-faced ghost. When you are vexed at others, there's a black-faced ghost.
Wait, there's some repetition here. No, Fan. There's a Fan here, is a red-faced. And then now Fan here has black-faced. Okay. Depends on degrees of Fan, I guess. Continue.
你看，就这么厉害。只要你里边动一动，你恨这个人，恨人，恨透了。
See how serious it is? As soon as your mind stirs and you hate this person, hate that person, hate to the extreme, you are harboring hatred.
这恨呢，从什么地方来？从那爱来。没有爱就没有恨。
Where does hatred come from? It comes from love. If there is no love, then there is no hatred.
你这个人对人生一种爱情，爱不得不到了，生出恨情。
If you love another person but cannot get the love you desire, then you would harbor hatred.
Okay, so you see this is the thing that most people don't realize. When you love someone a lot, it also creates conditions for you to hate that person a lot as well. And we see it in stories of divorces, of separation and stuff like that. Do you agree with that or do you disagree? No one wants to talk about this. No one wants to touch these issues. Because, you can't win. Yes, in the back, 3.
A Di Đà Phật, dạ thưa thầy, như vậy là love phải come first rồi mới đến hate, chứ còn đâu có hate someone rồi tự nhiên love.
I'm sorry again?
Yeah.
Eat it like a hot dog.
You have to love someone first and then you hate it later. But you cannot just hate them first and then love them later.
That's my next question. You agree that deep love can give rise to strong hate? Yes?
Yes, Thầy.
It's obviously, absolutely, in the history of mankind, that has been the case. It's well recorded historically. Yes? That's how I remember ex-wife too. Never mind. Okay, so, on the other hand, what if you have extreme hate? Can you give rise to love? Interesting proposition. How come the experts like shrinks don't talk about it? Yes. 8.
That's an interesting question. Why not?
Why not? It's reasonable. Anything is possible. Yes. Okay. But does it make sense? Yes, Q&A.
Yes, Master. It makes sense.
What?
Yes, Master. Makes sense too.
What? I heard you. Did you hear me? Never mind.
Yes, Master. I hear you.
It makes sense to you. Why? Explain that to me. How can you go from hating someone to loving someone? How is it possible?
You hate them because they don't understand the problem. Until they find out the problem, and they come talk to you, and you understand both sides and become love.
Okay. Weak argument. Weak. But it's plausible. Okay. Anyone else? Any of your colleagues would like to help out? Venerable Sangwok, what is your wisdom about this? She goes like this immediately. One Tek Sunim, I've been picking on Chung In Sunim. I give him a break tonight. One Tek Sunim, how do you go from extreme hate to love? Is it possible?
I have some hatred, but I don't have. I really.
It never turned to love.
No, I mean.
It doesn't work for him, okay. That's all you have to say. It doesn't work for me. When I hate someone, I hate it forever.
I don't have that kind of extreme hatred. But
Still the same thing. If you have any hate at all, that hate can turn to love. That's my proposition.
Master, I think I don't have that kind of experience. Sorry.
Okay, I said so. I didn't have to repeat me. Yes, 9.
Thank you, Master. Growing up in the schoolyard, a lot of times 2 boys really don't like each other, and they will fight when they hate each other so much. And it was a pretty common occurrence that after those fights, they would become friends and actually become really good friends, getting to know each other through the fight.
Okay, what about love?
Well, I mean...
Don't answer that.
There's 25 forms of gender and all that stuff now, so when I grew up, it wasn't called love, but like you could have it be your best friend, you know? So
That's
yeah,
love
it's
for you?
a type of love.
That is love for you? Okay, the 25 kinds of love. Okay. Yes, in the back. 4.
Master, I've seen that people who love you the most that turn to hate, but I haven't seen that hate turn into love.
You haven't?
No, not hate turn to love.
Okay, anyone else? Yes, 7. I'm sure someone somewhere in the world must have gone through this. They switched from hate to love. Yes, 7.
Diego says, yes, love and hate are extremes of the same. It could easily change from one to another and vice versa. And Brady says, when you see your way.
These guys are full of theories. I want specific examples, please, folks. I'm not a theory person. I'm a meat and potato, vegetarian and potatoes person. Yes, 9.
Thank you, Master. A specific example is I hate Duke University. Hate them. The Blue Devils are the worst. They're cheaters. Their coach is the worst.
Volleyballs? You're talking about, basketball.
Men's basketball.
Wisniewski, Kosciuszki, whatever his name is.
Krzyzewski.
Thank you.
I hate him.
Oh, I see. Now you love him?
And then you need Duke to win a game so my University of Maryland Terrapins can go to the championship. And I have to root for them. And
right.
Suddenly you go from hating them to rooting for them. Yeah.
Right now?
In the past. Okay. Afterwards, I have no problem going back to hating them again. But for that, when those conditions arise, the hate can turn into love.
That's too American. You guys switch back and forth like it's as if like changing clothes. That's disgusting.
Well, another example is it's okay to hate the head coach of the team you're rooting for when you want them to be replaced so the team can do better. That's okay too. You can hate the head coach and love the team.
No, you hate the head coach and you have to love the head coach. That's the premise. You cannot hate the head coach and love the next head coach. That doesn't count.
Yeah, you can go from hating the coach to loving the coach, especially when they make a miraculous turnaround and the team starts winning.
Now we're talking. Okay? My point here is that human emotions can swing wildly from love to hate, hate to love, love to hate, hate to love. You only see the one side, the swing from love to hate, because we see it more often than not. Okay? Love swinging to hate because it's shocking to us. You see, especially for us personally, to love one so much and you hate her so much when you divorce her. I mean, it's so common. 50% here in the country, we end up, ends up that way in our marriages. Okay, so the point here is that it's so commonplace to see from love switching to hate, but it's not as common to see hate switching to love. Okay, is Joseph here? Is he listening? He's inside, he's listening. Okay, I will give you an example, another example. It might be more useful to young boys. The premise is that this love and hate is actually a swing back and forth, back and forth. Okay, you look at the timeline, it swings back and forth, back and forth. Okay, for example, Germany, East Germany and West Germany, there is this swing, okay, and they used to be together, and they split it up. Now became, communists, so they hate each other, and then something happened. Now they love each other, and they unified again. Yes, Q&A.
Thank you, Master. I have an example of love and hate, from hate turn to love. And I'm thinking, could it be that from the last lifetime, this person owned, let's say a woman owned her husband something. So this lifetime, she constantly serving him, doing everything for him. But every single action that she does, the husband hates her. And then until she pay off her debt, and then the husband look at all the things that he have done for her, then he turned to loving her.
Beautiful story. Oh, is that your case?
Dạ con không phải. My case, I do have not a hate, but
Hasn't turned to hate yet. Okay, fine. Spray that doesn't happen too soon. Q&A, go ahead. You need to be political, you know. Yes, Q&A.
Hi, Master. I just want to repeat again. Love become hate, hate become love, just like true and false. When you hate become love, I think at this time even love more deeper and love more sincere.
Okay.
Okay.
Stay married, okay? Do not get divorced. Okay, anyone else? Yes, 7.
So a couple comments. Diego says he sees it happen all the time on Colombian soap operas. Also, Gold Force Daniel says...
This guy has a lot of free time, you know.
Yeah, Gold Force Daniel says his example is he hated his ex, or I hated my ex, now I feel bad for her.
But you don't love her.
He says that's a form of love, right? I feel compassion.
Not quite the same thing.
And then Jesus says, could the Stockholm syndrome be a case of hate turning to love? Which apparently that's when a person, a victim of kidnapping, falls in love with the perpetuator of the kidnapping.
A good example, excellent example, and that's along the line I'm going to for Joseph. Joseph, are you paying attention? If you don't, mark at this point here and give him this Dharma glimpse. I mean, no Dharma glimpse. Remember Romeo and Juliet? Huh? It's a famous example of great love, hatred turning into great love. Are you warmed up now? Huh, Joseph? So, Joseph, remember this. When you go after a girl, okay? Like many other boys are going after her, okay? So how do you stand out? The one way you can stand out is make her hate you so much. I mean, like, if she's real popular, everyone is trying to please her. Everyone is kissing up to her, except for you. I said, everyone loves me, she thinks, except for that guy. And guess what? You stand out. And though she says, why does he hate me so much? So she keeps on thinking about it because it bothers her. Therefore, she keeps on thinking about you. That's called reverse courtship. Tony is interested. Oh, Master is so sophisticated. Okay, Alex is here. Better get back to the real Dharma. Yes, 7.
Let Go says that, no, in Romeo and Juliet, it's the parents were hating each other, not the children hating each other at the beginning.
But the atmosphere in the family is hatred reigns in the family towards the other. So you grow up in that thing of hatred. Okay? So, but then it's similar to my example, how to court a girl, reverse courtship. is to, when she said, but that, look at that, she's the enemy. And then, wait a minute, she's kind of cute. That's what happened to Romeo. This is my interpretation. You guys are boring, so boring. Yes, 7. You think courtship is like pleasing people only? No. Sometimes you have to do things to draw attention. And it's the way to draw attention and make them keep on thinking about you, and make them hate you so much. You annoy the heck out of them. It works both from girls and boys as well. Yes.
Alta D says he's tried that when he was younger, but it didn't turn out well. He doesn't.
Yeah, don't give up. You see? There's still time. Time is on our side. All right, continue, please.
Hatred. Once one starts to feel hatred, the red-faced ghost comes along. If you aren't afraid of that, you can try it out.
怨呢他真对不起我，对他那么好，他对我也太坏了。
What about resenting others? He lets me down. I've been so kind to him, yet he's so mean to me.
这怨人是怨天尤人甚至天下雨你下这么大雨真。
So he resents heaven and blames others. He would even resent the heaven for raining.
是混账你这个天骂这个天这就怨天。
Why do you cause such a downpour, you scoundrel? Scolding the heaven, resenting heaven.
Tonight, the water is strangely very scalding hot. Is there hate somewhere in the air? Just kidding. That's an example from love to hate. Continue, please.
这个人真坏透了我对他这么好他对我也不好
To blame others. This person is rotten to the core. I treat him so well, yet he's so unkind to me.
恼就生出恼来了这一恼恨就属
Annoyance. Then he will feel annoyance. Annoyance has come. Once he feels annoyance,
心怨呢就属脾所以他心是红色所以就现出那红亮的就来了
hatred is related to the heart. Resentment is related to the spleen. The heart is red, so the red-faced ghost that appears.
Stop. Don't take these things casually. I know we're being very casual about this, but there is wisdom behind this. Okay, the Chinese wisdom behind it that the Master YongHua is trying to relate to us is hatred is related to the heart. Okay. Meaning that the heart and hate has a connection, if you will. In other words, if you get hatred and lots of anger quite often, your heart is overworked. That's why your heart will be hurt. It's not uncommon, for example, for a lot of people who get angry to have heart problems. My master, my Vietnamese master, He's a big shot in the Vietnamese Buddhist community, one of the most senior members. And he get upset very, very easily. And because he's so high ranking, he can blow his top to anyone. And they had to accept it, okay, because of his stature, his ranking. And at the end of his life, at the age of 71, 73, he had bypass surgery, strokes, you name it, heart issues. Finally died from heart failure. So beware of that. This is not a casual information, so that's why you see a lot of people who are angry often. They will have heart issues. That usually is the case. It's more commonplace than you think. Okay? What about resentment related to the spleen? Okay? I know of some people who were treated unfairly when they were younger. Okay? And this particular person I'm thinking of really resented it because as a boy he was unfairly treated by his family for all the wrong reasons. Okay, and it's just so unfair that he built this resentment in his childhood. Okay, to the point where when he get older, he has some spleen and issues, stuff like that. Okay, so in other words, if you are often resentful, get a plaque for your spleen. Okay, so the heart is red, the red face goes up, there appears. So there's a Chinese wisdom there here that is very useful. So keep that in mind. Okay, continue.
你冤呢属脾，这个脾呀就是属黄色，所以黄人的鬼也来了。
Resentment is related to the spleen. Since the spleen is represented by the color yellow, the yellow-faced ghost comes.
恼人呢，这属肺的，这你里面属肺的，肺不高。
Annoyance. Annoyance is related to the lungs. Inside of you, it's related to the lungs.
Now is white, right? Anyway. Continue.
肺呢才属白，所以这白脸鬼就来了。
The lungs are designated a white color, so the white-faced ghost follows.
You see, the Asians, the Chinese, they have the wisdom. That's why they designate the colors associated with the organs. You learn Eastern medicine. They actually have this kind of information. I find it fascinating now that he points it out. Continue.
怒就是发大脾气的，
Angry. To be angry is to lose one's temper. Anger is an attribute of the liver.
怒啊属肝，那个人动肝火了，生怒气，你生大了怒气就伤肝。
When a person gets angry, the fire in his liver blazes up. If you go into a fury, it hurts the liver.
You see, that's also the Chinese herbal medicine wisdom as well. liver and heart are pairs of organs. Okay, so anger either hurts the heart or hurts the liver or both. Okay, so that's what happens inside our body. As a matter of fact, when you're sick, if you have a heart problems, actually you also have a hidden liver problem. But the heart problem is enough to kill you, so the liver problem doesn't need to manifest itself yet. You fix the heart problems, then the liver will now becomes more dominant. That's what happens. And that's why Western medicine, when they think they're out of the woods, but after they fix the heart, actually it's still a liver issue that they need to address. Okay, continue.
怨人呢伤心，怨人就伤脾恼人就伤肺。
When you hate others, it harms the heart. When you resent others, it hurts the spleen. When you get annoyed, it damages the lungs.
怒人就伤肝，就伤自己的肝，伤肝变成清廉，这个你清爽清廉。
When you are angry at others, it hurts the liver. It hurts your own liver. It hurts the liver. And you become a green-faced ghost. Green-faced ghost.
So based on this information, when someone does something wrong that makes you upset, and you think of punishing that person, right? That's what angry people do. You get angry and you create karmas to harm them, to hurt them, to punish them. At least that's what I do. And guess what happens? Before you actually hurt someone, you're hurting yourself. You're hurting your heart. You're hurting your liver. Isn't that interesting? Ordinary people don't even realize it. They harbor this hatred in their heart. They end up harming themselves. It's delusion. And they resent others. And you hurt your spleen. All right, continue.
清廉的，烦人就伤肾。什么叫烦呢？
Vexation. When you are vexed at others, it hurts the kidneys. What is vexation?
这么不老实你看，一天到晚都哭
This child is disgusting. He's so naughty. Look at him. He cries day and night.
Do you know anyone who has kidney issues? Anyone? I know some people who've been talking to me and they have kidney issues. I notice they also get vexed pretty easily. And it's amazing. People go through their lives doing this, harming themselves, and they just keep on blaming others. It's horrible. Hey, look at how disgusting he is. And how unfair it is. Continue.
生出一种烦了，烦闷。这个烦呢，就伤肾，所以就黑了。肾。
Then you give rise to vexation, irritation. Vexation damages the kidneys. It damages the kidneys. Hence, it brings a black-faced ghost.
There are a lot of nuances that he's been using different words here. Anger, hatred, vexed. What is this vexation here? Anger we understand. Yes, we're angry and you What is the difference in anger versus vexation? Help us out, please. That would be useful for you to discern the subtleties between these words. The Chinese have their own meaning, but we, what does it mean to us? What is the difference between anger, hatred, and vexation, and so forth? I'm interested in two. Keep it simple. Anger versus vexation. What is the difference? Say, what? You don't even know? Google it. Look up a Chinese dictionary. I don't care. Sunim. He's sleeping. Oh God, again. Look it up. What is the Korean word for hatred versus vexation? Yes, 7.
Gold First Daniel says, vexation is to feel unease and anger is a deep frustration.
Deep frustration. What about anger? Is not deep enough?
He says anger is a deep frustration and vexation is to feel unease.
Feel unease. Okay. Okay. I will tell you right now. The Koreans will not make any comments. Because they know a lot of people like that, vexed and angry. And their culture is that you don't see nothing, you don't hear nothing, don't talk about nothing. So they suppress it. Am I correct or not? This confusion teaching. Now they're all looking at me. You disagree? Well, now Chung Sunim now is laughing at them. Huh? You agree, disagree? This is the fault of Confucius. Now you so well behaved, so harmonious. So Jo Sunim, would you like to say anything? Don't just nod your head, just, speak up.
Masters, we are not harmonious.
You're harmonious. On the surface, you're harmonious. But underneath the current of tension, yes? Resentment, yes? Vexation, yes? Anger, yes? That sometimes spills out. In America, we fight each other to death immediately. We're not going to wait. Time is too short. Life is too short. Yes, 7. That's what I'm talking about, well-behaved. The Americans, we are totally unrestrained. Whereas the Confucian-cultured countries, okay, they are a lot more restrained than us. I'm naming Japanese and naming Koreans. The Vietnamese are kind of half and half, The Chinese, okay, well-behaved, very Confucian, brainwashed. Yes, 7.
Professional opinion from Mary Jo. Vexation is intolerance and anger is deep and burning.
All right, very good. That helps. Vexation's intolerance. Anger is deep burning. Okay, very good, excellent, that helps. Anyone else? Yes, 5. This is, you guys don't only want to talk about enlightenment. You don't want to look at vexation, you don't want to look at anger. And before you get enlightened, you die of liver disease, you die of heart strokes, of heart attacks. Yes, 5.
So I Googled it, and it says vexed. The definition for vexed is irritation or frustration, which causes anger or hate. Now, the difference between anger and hate is anger lasts for a short period of time, and its cause is most often spontaneous, whereas hate lasts for a long time and the cause is deep-rooted.
I like that. I like the distinction between hate and anger. Oh, that helps. That helps me. Yes, thank you. Okay, useful information. Go ahead, Conk. I'm sure we have specialists in Conk about hate, anger, and resentment. Go ahead, the non-believer, non-trusting person. Give her a chance too.
Oh, no, not me. It's me, not the Kate. Master, I think vexation from Korean experience is you need to behave like there's nothing wrong, but inside you're constantly conflicted because it's not okay, but you need to behave like it's okay, so you're not at ease. That's kind of vexation because it creates a lot of thinking.
Says a half-Korean person. Okay, what? And continue.
And the anger is explosive because it's very intense.
Okay, very good. Okay, what about the other one that's still struggling with faith issues? Do you believe in God? No, don't believe in God. Okay. Anyone else? Okay. All the distinctions are helpful. I just want to add one more aspect, okay, that I've observed. I don't know much about vexation. I saw that. Okay? And anger as well. But this is why I observe in angry and hatred and vexed people. And I admit to you, there are quite a few of them at the temples. Here, San Jose, Korea, and so forth. Okay? So I have plenty of observations. Okay, so this is why I came up with this. I love the fact that the distinction between anger and hatred. Hatred is long term. It's like slow burning, if you will. The hatred is so strong and let it seethe, and it burns and burns and burns until the hatred. It's like a volcano. It burns inside, and then eventually it will explode. Okay? That's hatred. Anger is like a flash, a lightning. Boom! I'm angry at you, I'm going to hit you right away. That's what Americans do. When they get angry at you, they punch you. Agree or disagree? Okay? Nothing new to you, right? Gotcha. What about vexation? Vexation is related, especially in our times, not in Master Srinhua's times or earlier. In our times, you see a lot of people who are vexed. Because vexation is this disapproval, this rejection, okay? But you will not express it, okay? Anger, you let it out, you vent it out. The hatred, eventually you want to erupt. Otherwise, you go crazy. So far, so good. The vexed people, they reject you, they judge you, they blame you. Sounds familiar? You know anyone like that? Xian Shun, where are you? I have plenty of people in temple like that because we're supposed to be proper. We're supposed to have no anger, right? So when especially this pertains to our time because this is a manic behavior. They keep on blaming people. They keep on criticizing others, disapproving of others, and especially blaming others for their vexations. And quite often, the majority of vexation is held back inside. It's not revealed. That's vexed. And it shows in the face. The face is always like this. Look at people with eyebrows. I want you to look around the Buddha halls and see whose eyebrow has that kind of shape. And this day and age, because of the manic people, they tend to be vexed. So a lot of manic people are constantly vexed. They keep on blaming people, blaming others. Oh, you're so unfair to me. Oh, you're so wrong. Oh, you're wasting water. Okay? So they're disapproving. They walk around. But they don't say anything. And that's why the eyebrows get, like this. Look, the one person goes like this, next person, and they go crazy. It's so interesting. Okay, funny, huh? You find it funny, huh? What makes you think it's not you? Look yourself in the mirror. Check the mirror. Okay, thank you, everyone. Continue, please.
就是属水，这个色是黑，所以黑人。
The kidney belongs to the water element. Water is related to the color black, so it's represented by a black-faced ghost.
这叫五鬼闹财。
These are the 5 ghosts which haunt the house.
你这里边有这个五鬼了，外边的鬼也就来了，所以种种的鬼怪不现。
When you have these 5 ghosts inside you, the ghosts from outside will also come, and all sorts of ghosts will appear.
Did you hear this? Did you hear it? Did you hear or not? Let me repeat for you. The 5 ghosts that haunt our house, associated with, I don't know what they are, 5, resentment, anger, hatred, vexation, whatever, those green, white, yellow, whatever. Okay. It's too difficult to remember. There are too many of them, okay? But what I find funny is that, what he just said here, you have these 5 ghosts inside of the house, yes? And then, because of their being inside your house, more ghosts will come. Isn't that scary? You should be scared. Meaning that it will get worse. You get more angry, more resentful, more vexed, and more vexed, and more vexed. It's not going to get better because more ghosts are coming and pulling your strings. You should be scared. You're forewarned. Look at your lives. Look at how your own behavior. When you're vexed, you're more vexed. You're not getting less vexed. Agree, disagree? Jewel Kong.
So, Master, if you ask for the left-on people to ascend your ghost, which is very common practice in the temples, And then if you don't manage those emotions, they will have brand new stuff in, like a ghost.
What do Korean people do in Korea again? You expand the ghost?
No. Like you go to the temple, you ask for the monks to do the ghost ascending ceremonies. It's very common in Buddhist practice.
Ghost what?
Right? Ghost ascending ceremony.
Ghost ascending ceremony?
Yeah, like
Are we learning the same English? Are we
you go
speak
to the temple,
same
you
language?
make donation, and then the monks, nuns, they do the ceremony to help the ghost
never
to
mind.
go away.
What is the Korean word for ascension?
천도제.
청도제. Sarah, how do you translate ascension?
Ascending ceremony, like you ascend higher.
This girl here, when she speaks English, I really have a hard time connecting with her English.
Ascending, like you send the ghost higher to higher realms.
Master.
Don't help her. Yes.
So I just asked Jongin Sinin. He said there is a ceremony that helps the ghost or for them to go to the better world, better realm.
It's called Chao-Du. It's not ascension.
Ascension이 아니다.
천도, Tiandao something. 하늘 천자 아니야? 하늘로 보내는 거 아니야? 어느 천자인데?
보낼천.
Master.
보낼 천자구나.
Jumi sent a definition. So this is for the person who passed away, that in order to send them to Pure Land, there is a ceremony that in Korean Buddhism does this ceremony to help them to go to the Pure Land.
No,
That is called.
Pure Land, just higher realm.
That's called ascension. That's the same name.
It doesn't say ascension, does it?
Ascending, like 상승시키는 거 아닌가?
We have so many Koreans. You can't even agree on something. You call yourself harmonious.
정토라는 얘기는 없는데.
What?
뭐 화목하다고 그랬는데
Okay, never mind. Let me talk to the authority, Korean authority. Pomhyun Sunim. What are they talking about?
예, 천도제는 천자가 하늘 천자가 이고 옮기다, 옮길 천자, 제도한다 할 도자. 그러니까 악도에 머물고 있는 영가를 극락으로 인도한다는 얘기입니다. 천도제. 예, 돌아가신 분들을 위한 천도제입니다.
So, Master.
귀신 쫓는다고 얘기하면 좀 안 맞죠? 예.
Okay, Master, this is for the people who passed away, just in case they're in a lower realm. And the first letter Chun means moving them to another place, one place to another place.
Okay.
And then Chandoje is certain ceremony that being able to help this passed away person to move to another place, which is Pure Land. So it's a type of ceremony they do it in Korea called Chandoje.
Chengdoche. And what if they don't go to the Pure Land? What do you move those ghosts to? Just curious. I'm sorry. I have you thought about it? Anyone ever asked you, what if you don't move them to the Pure Land? Where do they go? My neighbor's house. Okay. Yeah. All right. Thank you for your input. Yeah, of course. It's in Chinese. They call Chao Du. Yes, 7.
There's a few comments from Michael, who's new here. He says he knows a time when a woman's ghost saw a master's Buddha statues, and then when the ghost saw the statues, he bowed down and left the woman.
Okay.
He also has some personal comments. He has smoking ghosts, and he needs to stop smoking.
Okay. Anything else?
He said, he's talking about this, I guess the master who had the Buddhist statues maybe, said he had many spirits helping him do acupuncture, and he bowed to the Buddha every day for 30 years.
Okay. All right. Clearly it's probably Asian type of person, huh? Most likely Chinese. All right. Anything else? Okay. Yes, 5.
So, Master, on page 123 is the 5 internal ghosts, which are greed, hatred, stupidity, arrogance, and doubt. So my question is, this sounds like the 3 poisons, at least the greed, anger, and stupidity. So does this mean the ghosts are the root cause of the 3 poisons?
No. We're talking about these ghosts that about anger, about resentment. This is what he's referring to. He's referring to the fact when you have these emotions, you are like a magnet, and that draws these ghosts, and they hang around the house. Okay, and the fact they hang around the house, their own kind comes as well. It's like they draw more to your house as well. So that's why even in the old monk, who does the spiritual sands, you clear the house. Usually when you throw these sands, when you purify the house, you actually are chasing them away. Okay, and that's a fact. I saw how it cleared out the houses. But because you're being there, you're living there, okay, you draw them right back in. That's why it helps temporarily. Okay, it's not a long-term solution, but it helps. All right. I saw Xian clear a townhouse and really cleared it out. Okay, but then they came again in time. All right. That because of this dynamics, you're giving rise to the emotions. You draw these ghosts. First cause. You feel vexation. You draw them, and they make you more vexed. You're angry. You draw the ghosts of anger, and they make you more angry. Okay, and the fact so they hang around. Okay. They hang around, they draw more and more and more. That's how it works. So that's why we get more angry, we get more vexed, and we sink. Normal people, they don't realize it. The weight of the spiritual world interference in their lives is overwhelming. That's why we feel overwhelmed. See that? Go ahead, 9.
Thank you, Master. One of the places I've seen vexation proliferate to a very toxic level is in the workplace.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You repress it. It is not advantageous to express your vexation.
Specifically, to give a specific example, say that a manager or a leadership team puts in place a process, and then the worker bees have to follow the process. But as they follow the process, it doesn't make sense to them, or they think it can be better. That leads to vexation at a very high level.
Mm-hmm. And jealousy and pettiness. Okay. All those is rampant in a workplace because they repress them. They
to
disguise them. Yes.
To share, I've seen two scenarios play out. One is much easier than the other. One scenario is the vexation is ignored, and it just continues and endures and goes on, and toxicity builds.
Mm-hmm.
People will quit, things will change, it never gets spoken to, right?
Right.
The other...
And the newcomers who have to adapt to the culture, to adapt the energy in order to survive.
And decide if they like it, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
The other scenario...
If you don't adapt, you don't survive, you don't last very long.
The other scenario I've seen is when you can express your vexation safely in the workplace, when coworkers, managers, etc., are open to listening to it, and over time listen and make changes. That's the rare situation, but it's my hope it's how I like to see a workplace culture be.
I will share with you this. I work for bosses, executives who would walk into a company who's very toxic because there's lots of resentment, lots of vexation. And so he's supposed to make change happen. So what he did, my direct boss, he called in the guy in charge. He says, I don't care what happens. I'm putting you in charge. I just don't want to hear any more complaints. So what happened is they repress everyone. If you complain, out the door you go. The message is very clear. You want a job? Stop complaining. Eat it. Okay? So the resentment built up, but no one said anything. So the guy got promoted, got his stock option and so forth, and then he left. Okay, so that's how it happens in corporate America. It's quite often. Go ahead, Kong.
So why do these ghosts want to come inside my body, and why do my ghosts inside let them in, let the other ghosts in? They are not territorial beings. And and I have one more question. Depression ghosts belongs to which type among those 5 ghosts?
Oh, that's depression ghosts, a different kind of ghost. Okay, it's called depression. It's called super ghost. It's like much more dangerous than those 5s. Okay. Anyway, so why do they come? They come because we have things that they want. Why did you come to Kong? Because you found people that you can distrust. So they come for various reasons. It could be because the male ghosts were drawn to the female ghosts that keep you company, so they come. Okay, or vice versa. There's so many reasons, honey. I mean, it's called life, ghost life, ghost world. Why do people come? Same reasons. Okay? All right, 7.
Michael asks, what's the long-term solution for getting ghosts out of your house?
Okay, what is the long-term solution for vexed people? I don't trust theories. I want people who are vexed speak. And that's how we're going to learn from each other. They're a lot more experienced than we are. I'm not vexed at all. Yes, 9.
Thank you, Master. I have a lot of experience with this. I was very vexed.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't stop happening. It continues.
Mm-hmm.
Still
are.
The only thing that's worked for me personally is to find a way, usually crossing my legs, coming to temple, vigorous cultivation or work, find a way to say, I don't care, and let it go.
I don't care.
It doesn't matter if it doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't matter if I don't understand. The only thing that matters is it doesn't vex me, upset me anymore. You have to just find a way to let it go.
Okay, I don't care. Go ahead, Q&A. How do you get rid of the vexed ghost? Just talk about one thing at a time. Don't tell me, how do I get rid of anger, hatred, stupidity, and resentment? It's too complicated. It's not enough time. Too many ghosts to deal with. Okay, Q&A, go ahead.
Ayida Phak, thank you, Master. I would like to share the story that I went through Vexed when I first got married for, I think, at least 6 years.
Now, it sounds interesting.
So my husband have a female friend from high school, but every single time he heard a phone call from the friend, he would drop everything and be there for her.
Oh no, that's horrible.
At night, if she have a cold, he would drop everything, go and get her medicine. Anything she need, he would be there. And then
I would be vexed too.
And then my mom taught me that, when you get married, you have to have patience. So from that advice, I keep on saying patient, but deep down inside, I don't feel good, but I don't communicate with my husband until one day, my husband gave me a book, and this book is written by the friend that he constantly dropped things and at home and be there for her. And when I read the book, written by her biography, I was in tears. Now I understand why my husband dropped everything, because of his kindness, be there for her. He was homeless in high school. Mom and dad abandoned her when she was very young. And out of his compassion, he was always there for her when a true friend should be, to show her some kindness in this life. And from that, we start talking, and from there, my vexation went away, and I come to love my husband more because of the thing that he did for the friend of him, the true friend.
So that's an example from vexation to love.
To love,
see that?
But also
to love. You see that?
It's
possible. It's possible.
Yes.
And she lived to prove it. It's possible. Congratulations. Very nice. You lucked out. Most marriages cannot survive that. That's called excessive kindness. It's not wise, okay, to be excessively kind. There must be moderation in Buddhism. You're kind, but not that kind. Anyone else? That's a lovely story. Yes, Conk.
Hello. So I thought maybe 3 different solutions. Number 1 is maybe you can find a good knowing advisor who is really enlightened, and then physically get close to him and never let him go, and then just stick with him.
If that
physically.
good no advisor is enlightened, he would not let you close to him. Okay, number two, what the number two solution? No one enlightened would let you close. We're talking about you, right? We're not talking about anyone else. Number two, go ahead.
Number two is to get enlightened really fast. But then that's very hard. So number three is try to observe the guiding principles of, the guiding principle. Like Junalai, self-benefit, and so forth.
Okay, very good. Excellent. Number four.
Master, I think that she's extraordinary, the person who have done 6 years waiting. But my question is, what would happen if she did that to her husband, exactly the same thing? Would he be able to be patient for that for 6 years? To me, it's just like a month I would let go.
That's why you're not married. There's a reason why she's still married and you're not even married. That's a good question, though. We should ask the husband, what if the roles are reversed? Would he put up with it? Okay? And you know him knowing the husband? He said, of course. With no hesitation. Hands down, I would put up with her. Yes, too.
One type of vexation that I had for a long time was with my relationship with my mother. I had a lot of differing ideals and differing opinions about how to act towards each other or, live. And the only thing that allowed me to let my vexation go towards that was to stop seeing her as somebody who should be good, should be taking care of me, should have always my best interest in heart, and start seeing her as a human, as just a person who had a child and tried her best. And until I shifted that perspective, I was incredibly vexed.
You don't normal. Anyone else? Huh? 5.
I'll share my workplace vexation story, just to echo the Peter's. Working at the government, things are very inefficient. For example,
no, you're kidding. I don't know about your government, but what we have in our country is something humongous called U.S. Postal Service. And I have been losing packages left and right since November for some reason. And I asked my sailors not to use USPS anymore.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Oh God, it's frustrating.
Yeah, it's
you're waiting for your toothpaste and it's not coming.
It's sort of a built-in inefficiency. They try to be efficient, but end up they're not.
And there's not enough time to talk about how inefficient USPS is.
So the way I dealt with it, so inefficiency vexes me when I see that in the workplace. So one of the things I do is, if I see a way that is more efficient, I would just go ahead and do it. And hopefully somebody will notice that, hey, it's been done better somehow, and my way of doing things would then get picked up, perhaps. That's the way I deal with vexation. I just go ahead and do something about it.
Good, very good. Did it help with the promotions?
No, it did not, and it also got me in trouble a few times.
Okay, exactly, right? I mean, if you do it, it's for the sake of promotions. Anyone else? This is a very, very real problem. When you're vexed, how do you get rid of your vexation? Because if you don't, remember, what happens? You don't get rid of your vexation, what happens to your eyebrows? Huh? Okay? But most of your eyebrows are like that. Wait a minute. That one right there is kind of arched already. Okay? Your eyebrows will be so arched. You go like this and then arch it on the edges. Recognize that, okay? These are scary people. They're vexed. They're very vexed. So what do? How do you get rid of your vexation? I don't know. Do you really want to get rid of your vexation? Do you? Okay. What is the problem with vexation? Yes, 9.
Thank you, Master. I think that's a really good question, actually. I've seen many people don't want to get rid of their vexation.
Yeah, they love it. They say, I'm vexed. That's me.
Which to me...
My husband loves me. My husband is crazy about me because I'm vexed.
Is one example. The example I was thinking of is, this doesn't make sense. It's a waste of my time. Let's go to have lunch and talk about it some more. And then I come back, like on and on and on, and just content to complain, content to be vexed.
Yeah, whining.
There becomes an attachment.
Yeah, whining.
To that.
Yeah.
So I think it's an important question
That's
you
one
have to ask.
of the first things you learn, you join a workforce in the US, is stop whining. Yes? The newcomers, the new grads, they whine too much. So this is so inefficient. This is wrong. Whine and on, whine. Okay? All right, so how do you deal with this? Okay? I don't know how to deal with it, again, because I don't know much about vexation. But since I listen to all of you and watch so many of you who are really, really vexed, okay? First of all, okay, to be vexed is nothing to be proud of. Instead of, if you realize you're vexed, here's what you should do. You vex because you keep it inside. You don't say it, but it shows in your eyebrows, shows in your facial expression. Yes? Just look around the temple. You look at some people's faces. You see they're vexed right away. Yeah, the eyebrows, and say, don't go near me, leave me alone, don't go near me. I sit away from you, and that kind of thing, keep your distance. So it shows on the behavior, they're vexed, okay? Okay, so what happens to these vexed people is that they practice denial. They will not say it because they're constantly vexed about her, vexed about her, vexed about her, vexed about him, vexed about everything, and they whine and vex, and so the way to get rid of it is to admit you're vexed. Don't hold it inside, because if you admit you're vexed, that means that you should be ashamed of yourself. When you keep it inside, then you say, oh, but I'm not vexed. You're wrong. You misunderstand me. But when you admit you're vexed, okay, now you have no more excuses. This is what I find so sad, that people, especially Confucian culture countries, the people are brainwashed into denial, into pretending that it's not there. Okay? If you pretend it's not there, you deny the existence of being vexed, being resentful, for example. And I've seen resentful people, I've seen vexed people, I've seen angry people, I've seen all kinds of people. You know, this is why the temple is such a wonderful place. Not only do you find such people in Omicron, but you learn so much. Okay, it's so fascinating to me. Okay, and so you need these people. You really want to get rid of it. You have to admit that you're vexed publicly to people. I'm vexed because of this. I'm ashamed of myself. I should not be, but I'm vexed. Because what happens is that to these people who are vexed, they also have this problem. They're shameless. If you're not ashamed of yourself, you're not going to change. The force for you, one of the major forces in life is that ashamed thing. You feel ashamed. That's why you are compelled to change. Instead, when we are ashamed of ourselves, what do worldly people do? We pretend it's not there. We deny it's not there. You put a wall in front of us so that our problem is protected. It's well nurtured. It gets stronger and stronger and stronger. Takes on more roots, more deeply rooted. Because we protect it. Okay? And if people don't like it, we live in a cocoon. So that's what I find is a major weakness in the Confucian teaching. Suppression and denial. Because if in such cultures you admit you're vexed, you admit your problems, then you lose face, you're ashamed, and people will judge you, will reject you, because you don't belong anymore. And the problem does not get resolved. Yes, one.
Master, when you're angry at something. Why should you be ashamed about it?
I'm talking about vexation. I'm not talking about anger yet.
But if you're vexed, why should you be ashamed about it? I guess I don't get that part.
You're a cultivator and you don't understand why you should not be vexed? Where do you cultivate? I like to know that temple. What kind of temple is that? You cultivate at a temple, at that temple you don't even know, you're not supposed to get vexed. What have they been teaching you? I hope it's not. I hope it is, don't get vexed. If it's not, let me tell you right now, don't get vexed. What kind of temple is that? God, disgusting. I'm vexed. But I'm also ashamed of myself. It's not easy to admit you're vexed. Yes, Seven.
A few comments on YouTube. Let Go says, to help with vexation, 1, you understand impermanence, and 2, you see the situation as it is. example, you suffered, past friend, husband, loved one was not there, then you take it alone, you don't cause them issue. And Goldforce Daniel asks, in the advice you gave to Joseph, why would he want a woman who is manipulable by nature and psychology?
Because she's a woman. What kind of question is that?
And Alta D has a...
I love women because they like that. Let's get this clear. They're imperfect. That's why they're so desirable. If they're perfect like me, then what's the point? Oh my God? What do you mean, oh my God? Oh Buddha. God has nothing to do with it. Yes, 7.
Alta D has a story about what worked for him. He says, Master, I went to my friend's house to make music a few weeks ago, and I was tired and I got really frustrated and vexed. Yesterday I went again, but this time I said 42 hands and eyes and prayed to the Buddhas before I went, and things went really, really smooth. Normally this guy would make me upset really easily, but after praying and doing some of the hands and eyes, it was really good.
Yeah, there's many ways to do it, but I want the brute force way, where if you admit and you confess, okay, you cannot deny it, you cannot run away from it, okay, then you get more of it that's uprooted. If you protect it, you shield it, you pretend, and you manipulate, and you disguise it, okay, then it still hides. And that's why I'm for admitting it, I'm for being ashamed of being vexed, because it's stupidity, no reason why you should be vexed. Okay, you're vexed because you have some attachments. You're attached to nonsense. Especially, I hope the temple you cultivate teach you that. I would not cultivate the temple anymore. I would run away, let me tell you. Okay? And that's it depends on how, the degrees of the solution, the dosage. If you do the hands and eyes and all those things, yeah, it will help. You recite one's name, yes, it helps, but it takes a long time before it happens. The brute force way is to admit it and uproot it, because as long as you reject yourself, you will stop doing it. You disguise it, and you pretend, and you deny, and you suppress. It's still there. Here's what happens. This is based and rooted on Buddhist wisdom. When we teach you wisdom, when we teach you precepts, right and wrong, right? And we know that, for example, we have desires. I don't know about you. Okay? Does it make sense to you? You have desires. Okay? So what the Vinaya says, in our rules of morality, it says there are lots of ways to deal with this problem. Okay? And they list out several ways. Okay? And one of the ways, interestingly, is it is taught in Buddhism. Is that the analogy is like if you have grass growing on the ground. If you want to stop the growth of grass, what do? You put a rock on top of it. The grass stops growing. Okay? Correct? Yes? But the problem is that, so you fix the problem until you remove the rock, and the grass will grow again. But sometimes you have to put a rock on top. You're reciting the 42 hands and eyes, one is name, temporarily is like putting a rock on top. Okay, it works on a long haul, yes, eventually. But if you want it to take care of the problem quicker, it's not a very fast solution. I'm for more brutality. That's why I'm inspired by all these brutal action movies. Never mind. Yes, 7, 4, whatever the number is.
Master, then yesterday lecture, when you say vigorous about suppressing the evil, should be getting rid of the evil instead of suppressing it, let it surface, so we can get rid of it.
Yeah, suppressing, getting rid of. Okay? You suppress it, but the ultimate goal is to get rid of it, to destroy it. I use the word destroy as well, I think, but he only remembers suppress. Yes, too.
How do you... I understand why you shouldn't be vexed. And I understand why you should feel shame for when you are vexed. But
do you really feel ashamed? It's not an intellectual thing.
No.
Do you feel shame yourself? When you feel so vexed about someone, about something, you don't feel ashamed, then it doesn't work.
I hear you.
Recite the one his name, recite, whatever, because as long as you don't feel ashamed, it doesn't work. That's not a solution for you. Let's make it clear. It's not understanding. Do you feel inside?
Yeah. How do you feel okay with people treating you poorly? How, it's just like when there's situations where somebody is just, doing something very negatively to you on purpose. And then, it's one thing to say, oh, I'm having compassion for you and I want to feel this. And you haven't done anything wrong. They're just being wrong towards you. How do you still feel good in those situations?
Oh, I have too many ways to deal with it. Don't have enough time to tell you. But you figure out a way to eventually. When you meditate a lot, you see all those at least 84,000 ways. I'm serious. I have too many ways. It depends on who it is. You make me feel bad, it's different. She makes me feel bad, it's different. He makes me feel bad, it's different. He makes me feel bad. I will kill him. It depends. You're talking about theory. You talk about, hey, listen, this person A does that to me. And I say, okay, give me the whole picture. Then I tell you what to do. This is what happens to people. They come to me and say, very smart people say, I have a problem. But they tell me only part of the problem. They hide, 70% of the problem. So 20% of the problem gets fixed. Because my solution only fixes the problem you want me to help them with. And they come back to me and say, well, it doesn't work. Each case is different. That's why it's called 84,000, because there's 84,000 of you. There's no one solution for everyone. But the root thing is still, are you really ashamed? I say, yes, I understand about shame. Are you really ashamed? How ashamed are you? Are we talking about 20%? 70%? 99%? It makes a huge difference. Because the more ashamed you are, the more it gets resolved. You don't get it. It's not about I understand. How ashamed are you? I'm glad you asked a question. You dare ask a question like that because the Asian will not dare ask me. They say, oh, of course, I should be ashamed. I should be ashamed myself. No. Now I talk about shame as degrees of being ashamed. That's how we're wired. And for some people, they're shameless. It doesn't matter what I say. I don't care. She's wrong, I'm right. Sound familiar? Huh? She's wrong, I'm right, therefore I have the right to be vexed. It's about right and wrong with these people. Look at right and wrong because it's so manic. They only see right and wrong. They don't see that, look at themselves and why you should be vexed. They only look at right and wrong. Life is right and wrong, black and white, love and hatred. Life is not like that. Yes, 9.
Thank you, Master. As far as a reason why to feel ashamed when you're vexed, if I've committed to cultivating Mahayana, to benefiting others, to suffering so that I can progress, and I vex myself and harm myself, I should be ashamed that I'm doing that because I'm limiting my own progress.
Okay, well, that's one good reason. You see, you have to look into your heart and say, am I really ashamed? What am I ashamed about? Most people are not like that. Most people sweep under the rug, pretend they're not vexed. They go plastic surgery and fix their eyebrows and pick all the side here so that it's only one side straight here. And see, that's why I don't trust people. In a Chinese system, where the Chinese people, they only eyebrow only go this far. The thing that curves is not there because they pick it out. So that they can disguise their being vexed. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, right? Yes, 9.
Thank you, Master. There is American precedence for this as well. John Kerry infamously got Botox during the presidential campaign when he was running against George W. Bush. He got Botox so that his face wouldn't react. It would be too stiff when he got vexed in public.
What I'm proposing to you is it takes courage. It's not just understanding, not theory. It takes courage to say, I'm so ashamed of myself. Admit to people that I'm vexed. I'm jealous, I'm resentful, I'm screwed up, I'm yucky. It takes so much courage because people would never forgive you. Especially Koreans. They will judge you, say, oh, you're a loser. You are now officially an outcast of our temple. Okay? Not just the Koreans. This is how society judges people. That's why we all are forced to suppress and deny. That's why Confucius, people buy into Confucian teaching because it's safe. So you're supposed to suppress. You're supposed to deny. Everyone does it, then everyone is safe. We are harmonious. We are sheeps. And there's nothing wrong with that. You live your life at work, at home like that, it's okay. But if you want to become enlightened, you want to cultivate, okay, at some point in time, you need to face that and say, that is not going to help me in the long haul. That is called the wheel of reincarnation. Confucius is a loser. I don't buy into suppression and repression and denial. That's wrong. You have to look at yourself. Look at your ugliness. Okay, that's how you get better. Unless you're afraid to be ugly again, you're afraid to be vexed again, you're going to do it again. So that's what I mean by how ashamed are you? 25% ashamed? That's in public. You know what I mean? You pretend to be ashamed in public. But as soon as you go home, Behind the four walls, no one knows. I think I lost a few disciples tonight. Master is so demanding, so brutal. But it's okay. Some of my disciples are very shameless. She admits it too. I'm shameless. Yes, 7.
Go Voice Daniel still has a question about the manipulable women. He feels if all women are if all women are like that, should he just settle for a woman being manipulable, or should he look for something different?
You asking me or you asking Peter? Be careful. He's going to give you a different answer. If you asking me, my answer is going to be different from his. I guarantee you that.
He's asking you.
Asking me. I refuse to answer. Because I don't love women. But if I love women, now Chung Yi wants to know. What's my answer? Love them all. Don't judge. So Daniel is so judgmental. He said, how can you be with a woman like that? I'm quoting Master YongHua. He's the only monk, I met who accepts you as you are, embraces you as you are, with no judgment at all. He doesn't judge you at all. He's the only monk I know. Doesn't think that you inferior caste, you peasants, you nhà quê, you basi local. He would never have such words in his vocabulary. Yes, 9.
Thank you, Master. I sense I should maybe make a comment here.
What kind of women do you love? I think he wants to know next, Daniel.
I love one woman, Master.
I told you, it's 9 days.
Thank you for letting me validate that. But my suggestion to Daniel would be, if you get a tattoo of the 6 paramitas on your forearm, and she's still talking to you and cool with that, you're on the right track.
Yeah. Hang on to her. That's my kind of woman. Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening. Good night.